Welcome to The Explainer. You know, sometimes you read a story that just proves that the line between love and hate, well, it's not just thin, it's basically a scar just waiting to be seen. And today we're not just reviewing a book, we're kind of crafting a love letter to the passionate, incredible journey in Anna Huang's Twisted Hate.
I mean, seriously, this one line says it all, doesn't it? It just perfectly captures this absolutely breathtaking journey from being bitter enemies to becoming these fierce, unwavering protectors. So the question is, how in the world do they get there? Let's find out.
Okay, so on the surface, this is a classic enemies to lovers story, but trust me, it's been completely supercharged. We're talking raw emotion, chemistry that is just off the charts, and a look at deep-seated pain that feels, well, it feels startlingly real.
Right, so at the absolute heart of this storm, you have two of the most complicated, messy, and compelling characters you will ever meet. And they're not just locked in a battle with each other, they're at war with themselves.
So first up, we've got Josh. Now this guy, he walks around with his cocky, infuriating ER doctor persona, using his sharp tongue like it's a shield. But the truth is, what's really driving him is this deep, gnawing boredom with his own life. The only time he feels anything is in the adrenaline rush of the ER.
And then you have Jules. Oh, Jules is an absolute force of nature. She's this fiercely ambitious lawyer who gives off this vibe of being completely, 100% unbreakable. But what you don't see, behind closed doors, is that she is in a constant fight with demons from a past that just refuses to stay buried. And right here, this gets to the very core of their whole dynamic. You see all that hate, every single insult they hurl at each other? It's all just a mask. It's really a classic defense mechanism, you know? When you're absolutely terrified of getting hurt again, it's just so much easier to push people away first. And what's so fascinating is they both use this exact same shield to protect wounds that are almost identical.
So yeah, their whole relationship kicks off with this total firestorm of animosity. And the dialogue is where this story truly ignites. The back-and-forth sparring is relentless, it's witty, and honestly, it's completely addictive.
Jules, she never, and I mean ever, backs down. She meets every bit of Josh's arrogance with her own razor-sharp wit. Like in this moment, when they're clashing at the clinic, where they're forced to volunteer together. She sees right through his whole act and has absolutely no problem calling him out on it.
And of course, Josh gives it right back. He's always trying to get under her skin, using these nicknames like JR or Red. But you can just tell, he's both infuriated and deep down secretly intrigued by her. This line here comes right after she literally crashes into him on a ski slope. And naturally, he finds a way to make it all her fault.
But here's where things get interesting, because underneath all that hate, we start to see these really beautiful, quiet moments. You see their armor start to crack, and you get a glimpse of the wounded people hiding underneath. This, right here, is where their story really starts to change. Okay, so remember that ski trip? Jules is just completely laid out by cramps, and something inside Josh just shifts. His instinct as a doctor, as a caretaker, it just takes over everything else. The sarcasm is gone, and for the very first time, she sees the brilliant, caring man that's been hiding under that arrogant facade.
And the real turning point? It happens right here. See, Anna Huang uses a dual perspective so well. And it's in moments like this that we get to see behind Josh's walls. They're in the quiet of a library after he's had a devastating day at work, and he tells her, the one person he's supposed to hate, about his professional heartbreak. And in that one raw moment, she finally sees the man, not the enemy.
This moment, it just shows the complete 180 in their dynamic. When Jules' past finally comes crashing down on her, leaving her an absolute wreck, Josh doesn't offer empty words. He doesn't give advice. He just offers his presence. He literally becomes her safe harbor in the storm, the one solid thing she never ever knew she needed.
So, after this whole emotional roller coaster, and I mean, what a ride of anger and vulnerability and this undeniable passion, what's the final verdict on this incredibly powerful story?
When you boil it all down, Twisted Hate is really a masterclass in character development. It just so beautifully shows that real intimacy, it has nothing to do with being perfect. It's about vulnerability. It's about how allowing someone to really see your scars can transform the deepest hate into this unbreakable, all-consuming love.
So, what's our take? Look, this is not just another romance novel, not by a long shot.
It's an immersive experience that's going to grab you from the very first page, make your heart ache for these two, and then make it absolutely soar. It's just unforgettable.
For its incredible character depth, for its absolutely searing emotional journey, and for dialogue that just crackles with chemistry, we're giving Twisted Hate a final grade of 9 out of 10.
So, if the emotional fire and that witty back and forth between Jules and Josh left you wanting more, you will absolutely devour these modern romance classics. Both The Hating Game and It Happened One Summer deliver that same perfect blend of tension and heart. Go check them out.
And we'll leave you with this question to think about. Twisted Hate makes a really powerful, really compelling case that the answer is a resounding yes. It just leaves you wondering about the incredible, transformative power of truly seeing the person behind all that armor.
Hey, thanks so much for joining us for this explainer. And make sure to follow and subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive into the stories that totally capture our hearts and minds. See you next time.